Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be a wee bit of fun, an attempt to predict the 1 through to 12th place in this season's Scottish Premiership 24-25. Last season I did pretty awful, managed to predict first place and second place, but from 3 down to 12 was rather all over the place, with not many actually terribly close. So going to try and do better this season. This is primarily a Celtic YouTube channel, but today's video obviously open for all football fans in Scotland and around the world, with my guess at the places 1 to 12 this season. Just a wee reminder before we crack on with the proper video: if you are new to the channel and like this video and the general content on the channel, please do click that subscribe button, pushing the numbers past 800. That'd be a lovely wee target to achieve. Feel free to pop your comments regarding my predictions, your own predictions, into the comment section. And then at the end of the season, we can compare who was right, who got closest, etc. And as always, please do consider clicking that like button. It does boost YouTube analytics and get these videos seen by more Celtic fans and football fans of Scottish football. So in 12th place, my prediction is going to be Ross County. Ross County last season came 11th. They managed to fairly comfortably come through the playoffs, beating out Raith Rovers. But looking at what Ross County have managed to do in the transfer and loan market over the summer, their squad looks quite a bit weaker now than it did at the end of last season. They've lost quite a few good quality loan players. They've also lost key players such as Murray, Baldwin and Danda. They haven't really replaced anybody with any quality so far, and so my prediction for Ross County is sadly they're going to get relegated out of the Scottish Premiership back down to the Championship. In 11th place, St Johnstone. St Johnstone also had a struggle last season. They did manage to pull themselves out of the relegation zone with a few weeks to go and comfortably ended up safe from relegation. However, St Johnstone lost one of their key players, their goalkeeper Mitov, who went off to Aberdeen. They've lost a lot of their squad backup players. They've lost a couple of their good loan players from last season. And looking at the players coming in, don't see anybody who's going to give them defensive solidity to keep the goals down and get them draws rather than losses, and similarly no one at the other end of the pitch to score goals for them. And so I'm predicting St Johnstone will be in 11th and playing the team who comes second in the Scottish Championship. 10th place, I'm going for Motherwell. Motherwell are one of these teams quite difficult to predict where they're going to end up, sometimes with good team spirit and a few good young players coming through and outperforming expectations. Motherwell can often get up into the top 6. However, I think they've lost some important players from their squad, notably their main goal scorer, Theo Bayer. They've also lost Spittle, their key central defender, Mugabe, and of course they've also lost probably their best player other than Lennon Miller, last season's captain and goalkeeper Liam Kelly, who has gone to be back up at Rangers. It doesn't really look like Motherwell's brought in anybody of real quality to replace the players they've lost, and I also wouldn't be terribly surprised if Lennon Miller also gets transferred away over the next few weeks of the transfers window, and so predicting Motherwell to come 10th. 9th place, maybe a wee bit of a surprise to people, going to go for Hibs. Hibs, another team who had a rather poor season last season. yet another change of manager. They did actually bring in some what looked like good quality loan players. All of them have disappeared back to their parent clubs. They've lost a couple of their experienced defenders, such as Lewis Stevenson. Again, doesn't really look like Hibs have brought in anybody of real quality to make them strong in defence or scoring goals at the other end. And so Hibs, for me, are going to come ninth. Eighth place, I'm predicting Dundee. Dundee were a bit of a surprise packet last season. They managed to get into the top six, and they actually did take good points off several of the more powerful teams, notably a very good result at the end of the season against Rangers, which helped Celtic towards the title. Dundee were another team who had quite a number of very good players coming in on loan, such as Bakayoko and Beck. They've disappeared back to their parent clubs. Dundee still do have a few quality players in their side. Um, Good experience in defence and midfield. I do wonder whether they're going to be able to score enough goals to be challengers. And so I think they're going to have a wee bit of a reaction this season. Still going to be comfortably mid-table. And eighth place for me for Dundee. St Mirren, again, outperformed themselves last season, managed to come fifth, got themselves into the European qualifiers. St Mirren team who also have lost a couple of their important players from last season, such as Bacchus and Strain. They may or may not get Kwon back on loan. Kwon was very important for them in the second half of the season. And I do wonder again whether St Mirren are going to have enough power in attack to score enough goals to win games, although I think they will be quite sound in midfield and in defence. And of course, they've also lost their lone goalkeeper Hemmings, who was a very important factor in their success last season. Sixth place for me is going to be Aberdeen. Aberdeen had a very disappointing season last year. They've had a change of manager, bringing in Talon from Sweden. He was very successful in Sweden, and Aberdeen will be hoping for similar success. They have lost a few of their better players, most notably Connor Barron. A couple of players they had on loan have gone back to their parent clubs, and there is obviously the strong possibility they may well be losing Bojan Miovski in this transfer window. Aberdeen have set rather a high price for Miovski, which nobody has taken up, and also some uncertainty regarding Duke at Aberdeen as well. However, I think Aberdeen do have some good, promising young players, some experienced older players, and as long as they get someone who can score goals for them, I'm predicting they're going to come sixth and bottom of the top half. Fifth place for me is going to be Dundee United. Now, Dundee United are the team who got promoted from last year's Scottish Championship. I think they're going to be similar to their close neighbours Dundee and have a surprise good success this season in the Scottish Premiership. I think Dundee United do have quite a number of good quality players that they've retained from their promotion challenge. They've also brought in some good quality players from Europe, such as Babunski and Trapanovsky, and also Ryan Strain coming in from St Mirren. And I think Dundee United will have that extra bit of quality, extra bit of good team cohesion left over from last season, and I'm predicting a slightly surprising fifth place for them. Fourth place again is going to be Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock have kept their team together pretty well from last season. They were a difficult team to beat. They still will have the bonus and the advantage of their plastic pitch. They've kept key players in defence, midfield, and attack. I think they've also brought in the quality new goalkeeper McCrory from Rangers, and they've brought back on a permanent deal in Dada. And so I think Kilmarnock will be much the same as last season. A team with the good chance of beating the teams lower than they are in the league, getting good points off Rangers, Celtic, and Hearts. And for me, Kilmarnock are a good bet to come number 4. Hearts are my prediction for number 3. I think they are much the best of the rest in the Scottish Premiership. They have made a couple of good signings, such as bringing in on loan Taylor, bringing Danda from Ross County, and also bringing in Vargas on a permanent deal, Penrice from Livingston. And so I think they are going to do well again this season. One caveat to that might be the ongoing speculation that Lawrence Shankland will be leaving the club in the summer transfer window. Rangers appear to be trying to bring all their cash resources together to bring in Shankland. Apparently, Clement and his backroom team and the finance people at Rangers were making plans about how they can get the money to bring in Shankland. Celtic are rumoured to be maybe making an offer for Shankland as well, dependent on the success of getting in Ida and others. And obviously, if Shankland was to leave Hearts, it would, I think, put quite a big hole in their ability to score enough goals to win matches and be a threat to Rangers and Celtic. But I think they've got enough quality elsewhere in their squad to cope, although with more difficulty if Shankland goes. Second place, Rangers. Again, I think they're streets ahead of the other 10 teams below them. I think they are going to struggle to keep up with Celtic this season. Rangers, I think, quite a lot weaker now than they were at the end of last season. They've lost many of their experienced players, notably Goldson, Barisic, Lundstrom, Ryan Jack. They won't have Sima any longer, who was a very key player for them. They have brought in Barron and Diamandi. I think they're potentially good, strong midfielders for them. There are ongoing rumours that they may well also be losing their captain Tavernier, Cantwell, Lawrence, Dessers, and several others. And I think Rangers are going to be struggling to keep up with Celtic unless they manage to bring in a few players on loan from other clubs, as it does appear that they are selling players to buy new players and selling off players and releasing players on the highest salaries at Rangers. So, in first place, I'm predicting Celtic. I think Celtic have too much squad depth. I think Celtic have had a wee bit of a disappointing transfer window. They have signed, I think, an excellent, high-quality goalkeeper in Kasper Schmeichel. I think his backup, Sinisalo, is going to be a great goalkeeper in the long run. So I think Celtic made 2 excellent signings with those 2. Strong rumours that Paulo Bernardo has had a medical and is very soon to sign for Celtic. I think that's going to be a good extra player in midfield. Celtic are said to be looking to get in players at left back, centre back. A key position for me for Celtic to reinforce is going to be at striker. They now only really have one first choice striker. There are ongoing efforts to bring in Ida. There are efforts to bring in other players. Rumours of Miovski coming, Shankland coming, several others. And I think as long as Celtic do get good quality as in backup at striker, I think they're going to be safe, even though a strong chance that Matt O'Reilly is going to leave. So for me, I think Celtic are going to start the season well, get a lead and keep that lead throughout the whole season. I think even with the significant injury problems they had last season, I think the Celtic squad has more than enough depth to be comfortably the champions of Scotland. The addition of a couple more players in the transfer window this time and in the winter, I think will fully ensure Celtic win the league by a good distance. Also predicting Celtic to do the treble this season. Again, I think they've got enough squad depth, enough quality to win off the one-off games in the League Cup and the Scottish Cup. And so at the end of May 2025, predicting Celtic will have done yet another treble. So that finishes off the wee prediction for 24-25. As I said at the start, do feel free, if you are new to the channel, to click that subscribe button. Do feel free to also pop your comments into the comment section, what your own predictions are, how you think my predictions will turn out, and finally do click that like button. It does boost the analytics, gets this video seen by more football fans, more Celtic fans, more fans of Scottish football. And so for today, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, a goodbye, and hail, hail.